Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. I'm praying that this new year and this new decade brings us all opportunities for new growth and many good things. I'm back after a much-needed holiday break to answer some of your questions again, and this time around, this question is on dating. Having written a book on dating a few years ago, I'll be sharing a little bit from that, and then at the end of the podcast, I'll give you some details on how you can get a hold of a copy of it for yourself or someone else that you think may be blessed by it. The question today is, why do we go into dating without personal boundaries? It gets so complicated when you're just trying to see if there's anything there. Another great question, and an important one too. Without being able to ask more questions to whoever gave submitted this question, I'm going to assume that you're not talking about recreational dating, but dating with the intention of finding the right person that you'd like to spend the rest of your life with. So I'll answer it from that standpoint. People don't go into dating with boundaries mostly because it's not taught. People just don't know what the dating relationship is about. It's changed so much from its original intent way back when it was called courting and such, that it's very messy. And so when you're actually looking for someone, you're not just dating like that, but you're actually looking for a life partner. You don't know what to look for and exactly how to wade through that time. So it's very important that we put this info out there. So that's why I like this question. Having boundaries requires a few things that will happen that will then translate into your own personal boundaries. Okay, so number one is personal awareness. You need to ask yourself what you want and what you don't want in a possible relationship. Knowing yourself before you get into knowing anyone else is key. Okay, you have to know your own values. If on the first date or first few dates you see something contrary to what you want, your first boundary could be not to continue dating that person. I know girls who continue to spend time with a guy, even though they see things that they don't really like or that they don't want for themselves, and then they start feeling bad for that person. Then they want to help them and don't want to hurt them by breaking up with them. So kind of like they get stuck in this cycle now. Men don't need mothers, girls, in a relationship. Save that nurturing for your children. Feeling sorry for someone is never a great relationship maker, so don't be moved by guilt. And giving it more time at this point will not show you something different. It's only going to suck you in deeper. Okay, the things that you're seeing are not going to change, so there's no hoping it'll get better. So your first boundary, like I started to say, is you go with your gut feeling, okay? And then there's nothing messy to clean up. Spending time with someone and oversharing personal things with them is what caused it to get complicated. So like I said, the first boundary is if it's not what you're looking for, then back away. The second boundary is be real, okay? And the second thing you want to ask yourself is know who you are, okay? If you really want to find and cultivate a good relationship with someone, it starts with you being you first. Then you can ask the same of the other person. Okay, you don't want to put on airs. This doesn't mean that you tell them your whole life story on the first date, all your faults, all your mistakes, etc. It does mean that you create an atmosphere of realness. You don't play games with the other person. At some point, you let them know that you don't like that because you don't want them playing games with you. When people play games, you don't ever get to know what's real and what's not. And, neither one of you are standing on any kind of solid ground. So that's real important. You need to be real yourself first, and then you can ask it from somebody else. Third is keep your personal life personal, okay? Like I mentioned just a few moments ago in the number one, it's so important that it needs to be said again. Getting too personal with each other too soon can lead to a feeling of intimacy that you may want to reserve for a time when you know them a little better and you're ready to trust them with your heart. Okay? This is a time to get to know them in a general way, starting dating with someone, kind of like an overview of who they are and what they like. Keep light conversation and take it slow. In my book, Look Before You Leap, I have a list of types of questions you can ask at different phases of the relationship to get to know a person better and what taking it slow actually looks like. I know people that go on a first date and then they spend hours in the car talking and more hours on the phone talking, and they text each other, and then they think it won't get complicated from there. That's too much too soon. Okay, too much familiarity is like false intimacy. True intimacy is built over time, and it's sharing and digesting what's shared and thinking about it and considering where you belong in each other's lives, or if you belong in each other's lives based on things that are shared. But false intimacy causes you to start planning your days around each other during dating. Okay, you're entering into deeper waters too quickly, and parting ways will only become harder and messier. It entangles feelings that don't need to be there just yet. If you have your emotional boundaries in place, then the physical boundaries should be easier as well, especially since you're now leading with your head instead of your heart and your feelings. Again, in my book, I lay out some steps to understand when it's okay to let your heart get more involved. I like this scripture in the Song of Solomon 8, verse 4. It says, "Don't open love before it's time." From various translations, it reads, "I charge you, daughters, do not arouse, stir up love before its proper time." So to sum it up, if you want to have the healthiest dating experience from the start, I would recommend that you do a little thinking around what you're looking for and how you can navigate that to the best of your ability. Red flags. Listen, red flags are supposed to be warning signs when you're dating that someone or something is wrong. Far too many times, though, those red flags get ignored, and it doesn't lead to good things. Kudos to the people who aren't afraid to take some control for themselves and not leave it at, well, we'll just see where it goes. Because sometimes when people see red flags, that's one of the things that they say, well, we'll just see where it goes, meaning I'm not going to make any decisions now. But I want to end here with some food for thought. I had a conversation the other day with my daughter, and we were talking about red flags. And she said something just off the cuff that I just loved, and I had to reuse it regarding the red flags. She said that to some woman, red flags are attracting just like it is for a bull. How true is that? Bulls look at that red material or that red flag or banner, whatever the word may be, and they are attracted to it and they charge toward it. We don't want that to be us. You don't want that to be you. If you see red flags, it's a good time to go the other way, not to proceed and to charge. So let's walk wisely. So thank you for listening today. And as promised, if you're interested in getting my book, it's available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. And the title is called Look Before You Leap, A Simple Dating Guide to a Healthy Relationship. For more info about working with me as a coach, you can find me at rewardscoaching.com, on Facebook at Regina Stafford, and Instagram at Regina Staff. Looking forward to great things and more connection in 2020. God bless.